but still. Anyways, let's assume. So I was talking about the C part, and in that I just told you girls that there are three different words which are used to describe a change. One is trend, second thing is progress, and third word is development. Actually, all these three words explain a change. Like if I say nowadays more and more people are eating fast food. So do you think it's a positive development that has taken place? Do you think this is a positive progress which is which mankind is making, or do you think it's a positive trend? You see, now if you read this number 6, nowadays more people are traveling to remote places, spreading their own language and culture as a result. So now in this particular case, if you see it, although it is not written that in the past lesser people used to travel, but you know this is implicit in it that, well, more people are traveling nowadays. That means there's a change, there's a shift in the behavior or attitude or in the habits of the people. Okay, now I want to show you two examples. First example is must be is very clear and very simple, but second example is must be a good lesson learned for you. Now, in the past, when students did a university degree, they tend to study in their own country. Nowadays, they have more opportunity to study abroad. Now, in this particular question, they have mentioned both the past and present, unlike question number 6. Then they ask you, what are the advantages and disadvantages of this development? Now here, you see, development means trend or change that has taken place. Fine. This word might be, or this may prove very misleading in certain questions. Let me show you now. Here's another question. One of the consequences of improved medical care is that people are living longer and life expectancy is increasing. Do you think the advantages of this development outweigh the disadvantages? Please read it at your own, just to understand the topics, then I'll start a discussion on it. Done? Okay. Now, obviously, you are going to, in your essay, you are going to talk about advantages and disadvantages, correct? And in that, obviously, finally, after comparing advantages and disadvantages, you would decide, well, if advantages are more and they outclass the disadvantages. Okay, this is a very particular kind of IELTS questions for Halima. If you don't know, then let's just have an idea that there are some questions in which they ask you that, do you think that if the advantages of this trend or this behavior are more than the disadvantages? Another way of asking the same thing is, do you think the advantages of this development outweigh the disadvantages? Okay, so obviously we are going to talk about advantages and disadvantages, correct? But my question is, advantages and disadvantages of what? It says this development. So which development?
Improved medical care.
Yeah, you see, both of you have said the same thing that 99.9% of my students have said, except there's only one person who has actually not said this thing. And actually, he's my recent student. He's from Somalia. We have just concluded the session with him. Okay, look, this development is actually misleading you to talk about improved medical care. But actually, you have to talk about advantages and disadvantages of living a longer life. The development, the change that has taken place is people are living a longer life now. You just misunderstood. By development, you said or you thought that, well, this is improved medical care. No, that is wrong. And that is very critical. Now you see, I can show you a writing of a doctor. Again, already mentioned you in the beginning that, this doctor, he was a doctor, he got excited, improved medical care. Wow, that's great. And he wrote in one paragraph, he wrote advantages of improved medical care while diagnosis has become very easy. Modern tests and machines and equipment, they just very pinpoint identify so and so thing. The treatment has got very good. Okay, radiation, X-ray, blah blah blah. Then surgery has advanced a lot, and many things like that. But he has not written a single advantage about what is the advantage of people living a longer life. This improved medical care is just a cause of this thing, and they have just mentioned it slightly as a background. So now if you will write about, what do you think, if you write about improved medical care, in which criterion you are going to lose marks?
And the very first task achievement, we
Yes.
didn't understood the basic requirement of the question and we
Yeah,
answering in a
that
wrong way.
means your answer is irrelevant. Relevancy was a requirement of task achievement. So although you have covered 250 words, although your grammar is correct, but you were not relevant to the topic. Now I want to show you some other points here from the same example. It is right. Can you see this right? Texting habits. RIGHT, right? So texting habits. So it is right of
Yeah.
every citizen. Now for the time being, just ignore the grammatical mistakes in it. Okay? Just ignore. I just want to give you an idea of coherence and cohesion here. It is the right of every citizen, okay, let's make it simple, to get an advanced medical care. This is first sentence. It is the right of every citizen that that they get or they are provided with advanced medical care. Sentence number one. Sentence number two. With this advancement, people are living or enjoying more years of their life. This is second sentence. With this advancement, people are living or enjoying more years of their lives. Clear? Third sentence, before reaching any conclusion, we have to look into advantages and disadvantages of this improved medical care. So just forget that he has written advantages of improved medical care. Let's make it longer life, right? Now, there are three sentences, and let's say grammatically and the lexical resource wise, tense wise, from all respects, this is a perfect sentence. Let's say he has written three wonderful sentences. But these three wonderful sentences do not make any sense to me, at least. There's no link in between these three sentences. The first sentence is saying that people are living, sorry, it is right of every person to get improved medical care. Fine. With this advancement, which advancement he's talking about?
So he was talking about right in the first sentence, and then he moved to advancement.
Yeah, he should have written a sentence here or something here in which he would have shown like advancement. Okay, he should have written with the advancement in medical science, people are living. That would have been fine with this advancement. Otherwise, this is just an isolated sentence which is not related to the previous sentence at all, and it is making no logical flow and making no sense to me. Correct?
Okay.
And then if you see the third sentence, before reaching any conclusion. So is there or has he raised any question before this? Which conclusion he wants to reach upon before reaching any conclusion? Was there any question raised before this?
No.
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 So in isolation, this might sound a very good sentence, but it is not linked with. So now I cannot make any sense out of this paragraph. In the first sentence, he's talking about the moon. In the second sentence, he's talking about the President Trump. And in the third sentence, he's talking about the vegetable rates.
Mm.
So there's lack of cohesion and coherence. Okay, now I have concluding these basic things, and now we can jump to the planning part. Okay, I know Rida must be waiting for this part actually, and she must be getting bored. But
I'm
with
not
this,
bored actually. Like I'm just like trying to identify my own problems which I have done
okay,
actually in exam, and I was just questioning that how they deducted my marks and given me a low band.
so okay, so this is the way I'm telling you the way then. Okay, so now you see, we know coherence and cohesion. There were four criteria, and in the first criteria was task achievement, right? Now I want to highlight one
Yeah.
last point about this. Second was coherence and cohesion. Third was lexical resource, okay, and last was grammatical range and accuracy. Okay, according to according to a very renowned scholar, Lieutenant Commander retired Ijaz Minhas himself, actually task achievement and coherence and cohesion,
Mm.
these two criteria can be improved without improving your English,
Mm.
like being having a logical flow. It has to do nothing with English language, at least.
Okay, because
That is clarity of your thought.
yes.
Similarly, task achievement, covering all the aspects of the task.
Mm.
It has to do nothing with English language as such. So if you don't have that much time to improve your language skills, you can use or improve these two things using common sense, with some guidance, with some practice. Okay, then comes lexical resource. Obviously this is a purely English type thing, and again grammar, it's purely an English thing, right? So try to improve these two things can be improved very quickly. Okay, that was a tip for you, Rida. Okay, and I hope you, because looking at your score in other parts, I think you are good at English skills, but you are lacking in the first two things. This is just I haven't seen any essay,
Yeah.
so I may be wrong, but that is my idea. Okay, so now few other points, and then we are going to, sorry, I forgot about this slide. Then we are going to start our planning session. Okay,
Okay.
I'm not sure if we'll be able to continue it today or not. It's already okay, we still have 30 minutes, so let's try to move forward. Okay, now in IELTS test, broadly speaking, again according to a great scholar, broadly speaking there are two types. Again, this scholar is me, right? First type and second type. In the first type, you are asked to give an opinion. Okay. In the second type, you are not asked to give your opinion. Okay. Now, this opinion may be asked directly or indirectly. For example, if I say, do you agree with this or do you disagree with this? Or to what extent do you agree or disagree? Actually, they are asking you your opinion without using the word opinion. Clear?
Okay. Yes, sir.
mm,
Similarly, if I ask you, do you think the advantages of this trend outweigh the disadvantages? Again, I'm
okay.
asking your opinion.
Okay.
But if I ask you, discuss the advantages and disadvantages, here I'm not asking you your opinion, I'm just asking you to discuss both the points. That's it. I'm not asking you what do you think. Fine?
Mm,
Okay.
Okay. Then discuss two views plus your opinion. Like some people say this thing should happen, others believe that no, this is important. So discuss both the views and give your opinion. Or they can just ask you discuss both the views. So again, in one they are asking your opinion, and in other type they are just asking you to discuss both the views. Correct?
Yes,
correct.
sir.
Then there's another type of question in which they may give you a problem and they can ask the causes of that problem and the effects of that problems or the solution to that problem. For example, nowadays pollution is increasing. Now this is problem. What do you think? What are the causes and what are the effects? Or what are the causes and what can be done to improve the situation? So again, in this, they're just asking you the causes. But if they ask you what can be done, that means that might be your opinion somehow.
Mm,
Hmm.
Then there are some another type of IELTS question in which they simply give you two straight questions. Like, to some people, studying the past has a little value in the modern world. And after that, they have given you two separate questions, one and B, the second one. Why do you think this is important to do so? What will be the effect if children are not taught history? So these are this type of question is known as two-part question.
mm,
Okay. Then there are two other parts, and we have already touched. Opinion we have already covered, and trend we have already covered.
mm,
Now, why I told you this all, because number one, obviously Halima didn't know about these things, but this main objective of telling you this all types about these all types was to tell you that how we generally structure our essay. Okay,
mm,
generally speaking, there are four paragraphs.
Hmm.
Now, the first paragraph is introduction. What we
mm,
have to write in this introduction, we will learn today.
mm,
Then these two paragraphs are known as main body paragraphs. And in main body paragraph, actually we decide about these paragraphs according to the type of the question. If the question asks us to discuss the advantages and disadvantages, so obviously in one paragraph I'm going to write advantages, and in the other paragraph I'm going to write disadvantages. If the question asks you that some people think that this should happen, so others think that no, this isn't, this thing should happen. So obviously these are two views. So in one paragraph, I'm going to discuss one view. In second paragraph, I'm going to discuss second view. Similarly, if the question is about, do you agree with this, or to what extent do you agree or disagree or something, or there are two statements. So obviously I'm going to discuss one statement here and one statement here. Clear? So these two paragraphs will depend upon the type of questions, and we will learn certain other important points about this just after this. Then comes the last paragraph. This last paragraph may be called as conclusion paragraph or the opinion paragraph. For example, I have discussed advantages and disadvantages here. Okay. Now I want to Then question asks me that, do you think advantages outweigh the disadvantages? Now here I have to give my opinion. So if I have to give my opinion that these are more or this is more, I will write it here. Okay? Now, how to decide that advantages are more or advantages outweigh the disadvantages or disadvantages outweigh the disadvantages? Sorry, the advantages. There are two ways. One is just count the number. Simple as that. On the exam day, if I could recall or I could think of three advantages and two disadvantages. So in the last paragraph, what I would write?
Three.
Obviously, that means advantages actually outweigh the disadvantages, correct? But
Mm.
let's say if these are three, both of these have got 3 points, then what to do? In that case, I would see the gravity or weightage of these points.
Mm.
Which of these points have got more weightage, more severity, more worth in it? Clear?
Exactly.
Sometimes what happens that it has got three advantages on only one disadvantage. Okay? So if I go by word count, I would
Mm.
say that, well, sorry, the point count, in that I would say, well, advantages outweigh the disadvantages. But if I still want that, no, in my opinion, this single disadvantage has got more weightage or severity than the combined effect of all these three. For example, if I say,
Mm.
hypothetically consider one example. Okay, I don't actually mean it, and this may not be
Mm.
correct, but let's take an example. Uh, let's say in our given circumstances, there's a security check. Okay, and ambulances are being checked on the. This is ambulance. Okay, please excuse me. Okay, now these ambulances are being stopped at security checkpoints. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
because there was a report that ambulances are being used to transfer weapons. So what are the advantages of this thing? So you write, well, it saves us from so and so thing. It saves us from this thing, and moreover, uh, you know, uh, it also help us or is helping us in misuse of these sacred vehicles. Okay, so these are three advantages. Let's say these are three advantages, and one single disadvantage is that if there is some genuine patient in it, his or her life may be at risk. Now this single disadvantage has involved something about risking a human life.
Mm.
So for someone who has got a kind heart may consider that, well, this single disadvantage outweigh all the advantages. But
Mm.
if that is the case, you want to take this approach, then please do mention it in words here as well. That although there are number of advantages of this thing, and according to the discussion above discussion, uh, they in number they just outweigh the disadvantages. But in my opinion, this single disadvantage has got some fatal effects, and this single disadvantage put a human life at stake. So to me personally, this single disadvantage just diminishes all the positive effects of this trend.
Mm.
If you want to take this approach, please use this argument in the last part. Okay,
Mm.
otherwise just go by the number. Is that clear?
Clear, sir.
Okay, now there's one more point regarding opinion. You know, many of the students, what they do, they just go by their opinion of journal life. Okay, for example, if I say early marriage is a good thing and or bad marriage, this is a topic, right? I'm sorry for using this sensitive topic, but this will make a good sense actually, right? So now if these are two views, okay, early marriage and late marriage. Now, let's say in my journal life, okay, I'm a Molana type, and I think that well, early marriage is a good thing. Okay,
Mm.
this is my journal view in life. Or let's say if I say co-education should be there or no, there should be no co-education. So again, I'm a Molana type. I'm saying no, there should be no co-education. But that's fine. Now, after seeing this topic, many candidates they just lock their minds onto their general opinion in the life. And then they try to prove that opinion throughout the essay. And I've seen them struggling to prove it. Because in exam, it is quite possible that during those 40 minutes, you may not be able to think of some very useful points about, let's say, if I'm against the co-education in our normal life, about the single education, okay?
Mm.
And it is quite possible that in those 40 minutes, I may come across a number of points which favor co-education.
Hmm.
So, if I will ignore these points, I will ignore very, very solid arguments in the essay. Got it? So keep your mind open. Don't decide upon your, opinion of your normal life. Just gather the points. Like during your planning, I will tell you how to gather the points. Just think of the points. Let's say you got 3 points in favor of co-education and 2 points against co-education. Then go with the points that you have gathered. Decide based upon the points you have gathered during the test, not based upon your general opinion. Is that point clear?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now I
But
want
if
to, JJ,
journal
yeah, sure.
have to answer in journal, isn't it? If the
Uh,
topic is
y-
journal,
your voice is very low. I'm sorry.
I am asking that if topic is based on journal, like if it's journal topic, then we
Mhm.
have to discuss it journally, isn't it? Like
Mm.
we don't have to be stick on our opinion. We have to give.
Exactly. No, no. If topics are always general in nature. Remember one thing. Okay. But if they ask you give your opinion, then you have to give your opinion, obviously.
Yes, okay, fine.
Okay. Now, one more thing. Sorry, before I move on. Okay, let me just first conclude that point. I'm showing you an example here. Can you read this question? Nowadays, people are forgetting national celebrations and enjoying themselves on other days that are important to them personally. Discuss and give your opinion.
Mm. Okay,
Read it?
Okay.
Understood? What is your general life opinion? Is it is it a valid
yes,
statement? Is it happening or no?
people are forgetting national
Do you agree with it?
celebration and are important. Yes, sir.
Your voice is not clear, Rima. Please find a solution to it.
So actually, I think it's math
Sorry?
problem. I think it's some type of math problem.
This is sorry. Okay, okay. No, no. Can you tell me, do you agree with this or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and what about you, Rita?
Yes, sir. I
You also agree.
agree with
Right.
the
Okay, that
statement.
was my opinion as well. That was my opinion as well. Okay. Now, if I go with this opinion, then trust me, I'm going to lose very valid and good points. I had the same opinion, but during planning, I thought about, okay, what are the things which can prove this, and what are the things which are against this opinion. Okay, no, this is not the situation, right? I'm just showing you a paragraph. Okay, ignore these multiple colors, okay, and just read from this. It is also a fact that governments and private organizations arrange national celebrations at a much larger scale than those used to be in the past. Do you agree with this?
Yes, exactly. I agree
Moreover,
with this.
yeah, so moreover, these ceremonies get a wider media coverage, coverage on the media, and large number of people take part in it. I don't know if you are of my age or PTV times or not. Okay, I'm not that old, but still, uh, if you know that some years back there used to be only few channels or one channel, and but nowadays there are almost 100 plus channels. All of them are showing multiple TV programs that are taking place all over the country, and they are wearing white clothes or white and green clothes and blah blah blah. So I guess again this is a new thing that is happening nowadays, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
People just text messages, text message on these channels and give their views, Pakistan Zindabad, Pakistan Zindabad, or whatever. So then, beside that, hosting of flags and decorating and lighting the government and private buildings have also become a regular feature or of observing such occasions. Okay. Similarly, various local and multinational companies launch special offer packages like Azadi package. I've seen on J Dot on Vardha, on many other shops, okay, like Azadi package or things like that, and conduct number of programs to pay homage to these national days. Or actually, it should have been heroes. Correct? Like Pepsi, Coke, they actually launch such packages even. Furthermore, people exchange special messages and post on mobile phones and social media to mark these events. This, like, you just share the messages, and this was not there maybe some 10 years back, or maybe even some 6 7 years back. Now, changing display pictures, like using pictures of our leaders or heroes, maybe, or martyrs, or even our flags, and cover photos is yet another way of paying tribute to nationalism. Now, what do you think? Do we celebrate more or less?
Less, very less.
Right? No, nowadays, do we celebrate or no? Like, do you against this topic now or no? Like in this,
No.
right? You don't go against it now.
Yeah.
You
And
actually
one
go.
thing I've noticed in
Mhm.
your writing, can you please, can I ask a question
Yeah,
over
sure,
here?
sure, sure. Yeah, sure, sure.
You have used like the linking devices like in start of every sentence.
Yeah.
So, nevertheless, moreover,
Moreover, yeah,
furthermore,
yeah, yeah.
all that. So, is it like because when I did my IELTS exam, I just used it in like in the start when I
No,
started
no,
the paragraph, only
no,
one.
no, no.
But
Actually,
you
you
have
see,
started in every sentence.
every sentence, yes. Okay, for example, no, I'm starting a new sentence, a new idea here. If I'm not
All right,
introducing a new idea, then it's fine. Then it's fine. You don't need to.
all right,
Okay. So obviously,
okay.
either I say firstly, secondly, thirdly, or I say
Mm,
further, moreover, beside that, in addition to, like I've done.
yeah.
So if you see, my point here was that if you go by your natural daily life opinion, then
Mm,
you would have said that no, or yes, we agree with this. Nowadays, people are forgetting national celebration, but I've just proved other way around,
mm,
that we are enjoying it more nowadays.
mm.
Got it? So
Yeah.
don't if I stick to my normal life, like my first instinct or experience or opinion that come across my mind after seeing the topic, then I would waste so many important arguments that I've just
Mm,
shown you. don't know that, right? So no, and let's move forward. And here we are entering into the real business now. Okay. Actually, I'm tired, and I think we should conclude here. I'll try to arrange another session. I'm sorry. I'm really
We
sorry.
have to we
Sorry.
have to discuss like we have to discuss many ideas in one paragraph, or we have to discuss only one idea in one paragraph.
Okay, actually, as many as you can. There's no restriction, and sometimes only one. It depends on the topic, nature of the question. I would recommend you, Halima, now
Yes.
to please attempt 2 questions before next session. If I'll get time, I'm going
Okay.
to hold a session maybe tomorrow. Okay, and Rida, for you, the next
Okay.
session is really important. Okay, because
Yes.
that is the point from where you will start learning. I'm not sure if you have learned something new in the previous part or not, but next part, I told you in the beginning that you will learn. Okay, so just stay tuned.
I will.
I'm creating a WhatsApp group. If you permit, of all three of you, okay, you can just communicate on this with each other. You can have some the Zoom meetings is with you now. You can enjoy yourself, have conversation with each other just to practice your speaking test and other stuff, right? If you want to.
So that would be great.
Yeah, so I'll create a WhatsApp so a group, and please, I'm not sure if I'll be able to uh, hold session tomorrow or not. Okay, you see, I'm working on this. This is page 102, my thesis work. Okay, so this is a lengthier stuff that is still I have to complete. If I'll be able to complete it tomorrow, then obviously I'll have a session. But if I won't, then maybe day after tomorrow, right? So any questions so far?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so
No, sir. Things are like pretty much clear. Thank you so much.
welcome. Take care. Assalamu alaikum. Bye bye.
That's
Allah Hafiz.